Keep up with what's happening in Memphis. Sign up for the What's Happening Report at what'shappeningmyron.com.
And ladies and gentlemen, you hear the music, you know what time it is. It is time for Hey Myron, real issues from real people just like you and I. And of course, Myron knows issues. Why is that, Ronnie?
Because Myron has issues.
Exactly. He has lots of issues, and he can spot them joints a mile away. And speaking of tonight's issue that I already know and I'm ready for, but why don't you share tonight's issue, Ronnie?
All right. Tonight's letter reads, Dear Myron, I have been dating this young lady for close to 6 months, and I feel like everything is going really well between the two of us. I just have one small problem, and I'm wondering if I should really think that it's a big deal. Myron, she has not introduced me to anybody that is a friend or family member, and I'm starting to feel like she's hiding me. She says that she just likes to keep her personal life personal, but I feel like this may be more like keep her personal life shameful. So, Myron, I just want to know what you think about my situation.
Oh, wow. I got like 3 different routes that I can go with this. But since we're back to doing it the way that we normally do it and everything's back to normal, I'm going to be the gentleman that I have always been, and I'm going to let you go first because I'm kind of interested to see what you got to say. As a matter of fact, I want you to almost kind of rationalize this a little bit.
Well, I actually do have 2 thoughts on it. And I guess because of my 2 thoughts, it could be considered rationalizing. So my first thing is, like, I don't really know this woman's history, but let's just say if she has a history of like jumping in with, you know, everything up front, and then she finds out later on the person's not what she thinks they are, and she may have already introduced a lot of people to her family and friends, and then it didn't work out. So she may just want to make sure that this is really something before she does that, because it may seem like to her, like at the point where she starts introducing people, like they change on her or something, right? So that was my first thought that came to my mind with reading the letter, was that maybe she's just trying to make sure that it really is something. And then what has he said to her for her to know that this is real? And the reason I say that is because we live in a different time, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was married before, and then when I became single, I was like, I don't think I know these rules of dating. Like the whole dating spectrum had just completely changed on me. So I didn't know how all of that worked. And so sometimes I feel like, you know, guys don't put labels on stuff, and now women are doing that, and they don't want to put labels on it. Let's just see where this goes. And so he may not have said the words to her to make her feel like this is more than just a casual thing. So she may be trying to act like it's casual because he hasn't said anything to give her the impression that it's something more. So that's kind of putting the onus on him, I know, right? Okay. But those are the first 2 things that pop into my mind. And then the last thing is maybe she's just not feeling him the way that he feels her.
Okay. That one I could probably agree with, but I knew that you were probably going to say something that I wasn't going to agree with. So you did that at first. I'm going to break it down. Okay. I'm going to basically give the male version of this. I'll say this right here. Number 1, as much as women talk about the person that they're with, most women talk about the person that they're with. You can't be a friend with a woman and not know whether she's dating anybody or not.
I think people can be friends with me and not know. Because I don't really talk about that part of my life openly and freely with a lot of people.
Somebody knows.
Yeah, but just because they know doesn't mean that he's been introduced to them.
So maybe I should ask you some questions before the end of the show. Anyway, here's my thing. Let's just switch the roles on that and make it a guy who's hiding.
That's a completely different situation.
Who's hiding people.
That's a completely different situation.
I'm gonna use myself. If I was dating somebody and I didn't tell anybody, I'm gonna give you some reasons why. If I'm dating somebody and I didn't tell anybody, chances are I didn't want anybody to know I was dating this person. Number one, because there's like other people that I would want to date, and I wouldn't want that to interfere with any of my any of my endeavors. Let's just put it like that.
That's terrible.
Yeah. Number two, if I was dating somebody and I wouldn't tell anybody, apparently there must be a defect somewhere in the product that is clearly visible. Let's say for instance, she may not be aesthetically appealing, and I would feel like if I told somebody that I was dating this person, they would like look at her and look at me and wonder what the heck's wrong with me. 3, I could possibly not tell anybody about this person because I'm just totally not feeling her, and who knows how long this thing's gonna last.
When you flip the roles like that,
it sounds horrible, don't it?
No, it's a completely different situation.
That sounds horrible. That's why I wish sometimes people would at least send pictures with these letters, and I could sum it up,
Yes.
Because I mean, full body pictures where I could like make a full assessment, and I can say, okay, here's why she's not telling anybody about you. You're round, and round people have a hard time in this society. I could answer that a little bit better. But now,
shallow.
I only have this to go by. So I gotta throw at least 2 or 3 things out there. There's a reason why. I don't think it's a very nice reason. There's something about you that she likes, obviously, but she feels that if she puts you out there and other people,
are gonna judge her.
Discover they're gonna judge her. Who likes to be judged? Nobody. So it's one of 2 things. Either you're like extremely handsome and good looking, and she want to hide you from everybody, and she's scared that somebody might try to take you from her, or
which women do.
Or on the flip side, you could look like a troll that's losing hair, and she's just ashamed of you. I hope it's the first one for your sake. I hope it's the first one, but I feel like this right here. If she won't make it clear that she's with you or introduce you to anybody that she knows, I mean that's something to really consider whether you want to continue to build any kind of future with this person.
So I do agree with the fact that he does need to consider whether or not he wants to continue to see this person. But I do think that conversation may be necessary first to clarify why she hasn't introduced him to anybody. Because if she has a valid reason, like we don't really know. She could be married.
Because I'm gonna tell you this here. Any reason she gives him is not gonna sound not gonna sound believable.
Well,
any reason she comes up with, give me one reason that might sound real and reasonable.
She could be married and getting a divorce, and she just wants her divorce to be final before she introduces somebody new.
Okay, you got a point with that one.
I'm just saying there could be a valid reason. I'm not siding with her. I'm just saying have the conversation first.
But again, as I say, it's hard for a woman to be with somebody that she really cares about and nobody knows him and she hadn't introduced him. I mean, even if she's talking about him, he's just this mystery dude that nobody knows. She could be making it up.
So, but that's the thing, Myron. Women do that. So women, especially a woman who's had like a situation where somebody stole her man, like her friend or something like that, or like she has very judgmental friends. I mean, like there may not be anything wrong with him, but like when I was younger, I had this group of girls that I used to hang out with, and it was like one of the reasons why I stopped hanging out with them is because I felt like they were like so petty about like everything, right? And so everything was a competition. Who could have the boyfriend with the best job and whose boyfriend had a 6-pack and it was like everything was a competition, right? And you have to be careful and stuff like that, because you can find yourself being with somebody just to live up to their standards that you are not even interested in, right? So what happens is you will find somebody that you like, they're going to try to rip them to shreds. You just like, I can't even take them over there because they're going to rip them to shreds, but I really do like this dude, right?
Okay.
Women do that. Men don't necessarily
that's friends.
do that.
What about her family? Her mom or brother, sister? If her friends and family are all the same judgmental group of folks, I mean,
well, no, maybe like her friends are here, but her family's far. I mean, look at me, right? So no one who would date me would even meet my friends, well, my family, right? Unless by some fluke, when they came into town, they happened to be around. But like my mom comes here like one time out of the year, right? So it would the timing would have to be right.
And I met your mom
twice in 3 years.
Yeah, which doesn't really have anything to do with nothing. But,
right, but what I'm saying is we're together every week, right? And so in 3 years, you've seen my mom twice. So imagine like if it was somebody that I was dating and they were in between the visit, right? So I've been dating them like 4 or 5 months, but it's not that time of the year when my mom comes to visit yet. So they would not have met my family because she don't live here, right?
I don't know if I would trust this person.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of seeing the best in a person. But I will tell you that women do that. Women will date somebody completely off to themselves and not really involved because women can be vicious as far as like I've seen situations where women that we know like talk about a guy and like whenever everybody's talking about a guy and they be like, yeah, let's just say his name is John. It's like, yeah, John took me to the da-da-da. And they're like, because ain't nobody met John. So they think John ain't real. And then one day John shows up. It's been like a year and a half. You've been talking about John. We ain't never seen John. So we don't think John exists. And then poof, here comes John.
Dating scares the crap out of me. There's
just so many nuances.
It does. It frightens me, man. Dating frightens me.
There are just so many nuances to dating. And people are, the one thing that's predictable about people is that they're unpredictable.
Yeah. Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. I'm gonna start posting these letters on Facebook.
You need
to too, and of course you can listen back to these letters at the website on the podcast page at what'shappeningmyron.com. And if you have an issue that you're dealing with, send me an email and we're gonna talk about it on the show. We're gonna try to work it out and get you some kind of direction on it. Just email me at Myron at what'shappeningmyron.com. And of course we'll try to help you out all that we can. Plus, I won't necessarily give you the advice that I would follow, but that's of course that's for what would Myron do, which that segment's coming up soon. It's just tough to come up with a good
segment,
a good first scenario. So if you got one, if you want to know what Myron would do, send me something. Just email me, Myron, what would you do in this situation? And I'll be totally honest.
I'm telling you to put it on social media and let people give you all the suggestions on the segment.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do. So just be looking for that on all the Facebook pages. Anyway, y'all stick around. We got a little bit more show left to go. So y'all keep it right here on the What's Happening Myron Radio Show.
You're listening to the What's Happening Myron Radio Show.